Welcome to the infamous edition of the Headstones and Microphones, where we use AI to step into the past through a researched, first-person simulation done through creative storytelling of history's most infamous people. Now, let's meet our guest. Welcome to the podcast. Let's start at the absolute beginning, where the public narrative hasn't yet distorted who you were. When and where were you born, and what was your given name?
My given name was Samuel Bass, and I was born on July 21st, 1851, on a farm out near Mitchell, Indiana.
What was your hometown and home life like as a child?
I grew up as one of 10 children in a big family, working our own farm in Indiana. It started out all right, but tragedy hit us hard and fast. Two of my older brothers died when they were real young, and another older brother, George, was killed in the Civil War when I was only 11. My mother passed away from childbed fever when I was 10, and though my father remarried, he caught pneumonia and died when I was 13. After that, I was orphaned and went to live with a stern, strict uncle on his farm. It was a hard, daily drudgery, and the disagreements with him made things pretty tough.
Was there a story behind your name or a nickname that stuck with you?
Folks just called me Sam, but later on, because of my racing days in North Texas, folks associated me with my prized horse, the Denton mare. The newspapers eventually just labeled me the notorious train robber or the leader of the Bass gang.
What were you like as a child, and how many years of schooling did you actually attend?
I was mostly just a regular farm boy trying to get by after losing my folks. I didn't get a proper school education to speak of because I was working the fields and dealing with the strict rules at my uncle's place. By the time I was 18, I couldn't take the daily routine anymore and decided it was time to roam.
What's a decision that changed everything for you, but felt small at the time?
Back in 1869, I ran away from my uncle's farm. It felt like a simple escape at the time, just a young man heading out to find his cowboy dream. I worked for about a year at a sawmill down in Rosedale, Mississippi, before drifting west to Denton, Texas, in the fall of 1870. I tried honest work as a freighter, a laborer, and a ranch hand, but the hard work and low pay left me unfulfilled. That small choice to leave home eventually led me to buy a racehorse, gamble, and fall into a rough crowd.
Let's talk about your early run-ins with the law. Before the world knew your name for your most infamous actions, what was your very first arrest or interaction with law enforcement, and what were the consequences?
My early days in Texas weren't actually spent running from the law. In fact, I worked for a time for Sheriff Egan of Denton. But the real turning point into crime happened after my partner, Joel Collins, and I took a herd of cattle up to Nebraska for some San Antonio ranchers in 1876. We squandered all the proceeds gambling in the gold rush town of Deadwood. Flat broke and thousands of dollars in debt, we formed an outlaw gang and started sticking up stagecoaches in the Black Hills just to make a living.
At what moment did you realize your name would never be forgotten?
That would be September 18, 1877, at Big Springs, Nebraska. My gang intercepted and robbed a Union Pacific Railroad gold train coming from San Francisco. We marched off with over $60,000 in freshly minted $20 gold pieces. That heist made national headlines and put a target right on our backs.
Did fame make you more dangerous, or did it simply expose who you already were?
I think the pressure of being hunted just accelerated things. After the Union Pacific robbery, the gang split up. I headed back to Texas, recruited old acquaintances from Denton, and went on a real crime spree. In early 1878, we held up stagecoaches and 4 different trains within 25 miles of Dallas, including the Texas Central at Allen Station, which was the first train robbery in Texas history. We didn't even get much money from most of those Texas holdups, but the media frenzy made us the prime targets of the Pinkerton Detective Agency and a special company of Texas Rangers. It forced us to live in the swamps of Denton County, constantly on the move.
Who do you believe betrayed you first? A person, society, or your own instincts?
It was a person, plain and simple. Jim Murphy, a member of my own gang, turned informant for the law. The authorities had taken his sick father into custody, withheld medical treatment, and used that to force Jim into striking a deal. He reluctantly agreed to betray us and fed our movements directly to Major John B. Jones of the Texas Rangers.
Did you have any known rivalries that defined your career?
Our primary adversaries were Captain Junius Peake's company of Texas Rangers and the lawmen out of Dallas and Denton. We spent months playing a high-stakes game of hide-and-seek with them through the Cross Timbers area, dodging 30 or 40 lawmen at a time because our horses were faster than their jaded animals.
When the law finally closed in, how exactly were you brought to justice? Walk me through the final arrest, the charges that ultimately stuck, and the legal outcome of your trials.
We rode into Round Rock, Texas on July 19, 1878, planning to look over the Williamson County Bank for a daylight robbery. Jim Murphy was with us, leading us right into an ambush. While we were buying tobacco at a store, Williamson County Deputy Sheriff A.W. Grimes noticed a suspicious bulge under a coat and approached us, asking if we were carrying guns. A gunfight erupted on the street, and Deputy Grimes was killed. As we tried to flee, Texas Rangers opened fire, and I was mortally wounded. Frank Jackson helped me hide out in a cedar brake and bound my wounds before leaving. The next morning, I staggered out to seek help, and the Rangers found me lying helpless under a tree in a pasture north of town. I never faced a trial or a prison cell.
When, where, and how did you pass away?
I was brought back into Round Rock after they found me. I died right there from my gunshot wounds on July 21st, 1878. It was my 27th birthday.
What past regrets did you carry with you to the end? If you could erase one decision from your life, would you? Or was it necessary to become who you were?
To the very end, while I was lying there dying, I refused to talk or give up the rest of my men to the lawmen. As the days passed, I actually started to feel a bit better and thought I might recover before my condition took a turn for the worse.
Do you have any closing remarks about the interview or the stories you shared that you would like to share with the listeners before signing off?
I'd just say that a man's life can change fast when he gets a taste for easy money and fast horses. Once you cross that line and the law is on your trail, there aren't many ways out except the way I went.
And that wraps up another conversation from Beyond the Grave. Thanks for joining us on the Headstones and Microphones podcast. Remember, do better with the life you have been given and choose to do good in this life. Please help spread the word by sharing and following the pod.